Hey Bobcats, welcome back. Hope you all had a great summer. My name is Jason Fine. I'm the Director of Athletics here at Bates College. I get the fun responsibility of conducting NCAA, NESCAC, and Bates athletics compliance education with all of our student athletes, both new and returning. So today, we're going to discuss how to navigate NCAA rules on the road to our next championship. The NCAA requires that every student athlete who participates in intercollegiate athletics must be educated on NCAA compliance, which is essentially the bylaws, rules, and regulations that in this case Division III puts in place in order to compete as a student athlete. Following the rules is a shared responsibility between you, your coach, and the athletics department. I certainly won't be able to cover everything today, but there's a few concepts I'd like to go over with you with some help from your fellow Bobcats. As a reminder, you should always ask before you act. Ask your coaches, ask a compliance officer, ask me, anytime a question arises. Each situation is different and exceptions can apply differently for different individuals. Some general rules to keep in mind. You must be a full-time student in good academic standing. To be considered a full-time student, you must be enrolled in a minimum of 3 classes for each semester at all times. If you choose to drop a course, be sure to add one first to prevent falling below 3 classes. Lastly, student athletes are expected to act with honesty, integrity, and sportsmanship at all times. And now, I'll pass it over to A-Rose for some more compliance fun.
To be a student athlete, you are required to complete the necessary paperwork prior to participation, along with attending this compliance meeting. The required forms are compliance consent forms, medical paperwork, and the student athlete bio forms. Every year, you are also required to have the necessary paperwork assigned by the sports medicine office. Please read all forms before signing them. If you have any questions about any of the required paperwork, please see someone in the sports medicine office or a compliance officer. The NCAA requires that the department conducts several training sessions and speakers throughout the year, and the attendance of student athletes is required at several of them. Your coach will notify you of these events.
Hazing in any form is not permitted and is grounds for removal from your team and from Bates College. There is no such thing as first-year duties, although team responsibilities should be shared amongst all athletes, no matter what grade, age, or playing status. A full description of hazing and potential penalties can be found in the Student Athlete Handbook. Remember to always treat others the way you want to be treated.
Gambling is prohibited by NCAA and here at Bates. You cannot gamble on your own games or any other competitions that are NCAA sports, which includes fantasy sports. This also means you can't place a wager on anything the NCAA hosts a championship in, whether it be rowing, golf, field hockey, volleyball, soccer, or any other sports that participate. So to be clear, you cannot gamble in March Madness brackets, fantasy football, or anything similar. It's not worth risking your eligibility. Just don't bet on it.
Student athletes are expected to exercise good judgment in their use of social media and to conduct these activities in a responsible and respectful manner. What you post is your brand. Keep in mind that your online image represents yourself, your team, and Bates College.
Once you're at Bates, you can no longer talk to another school about playing for them. If you do decide you want to transfer, there are several rules you need to know. To talk to another Division III school, you have 2 options. 1, you can sign a self-release form, which allows you to talk to another D3 school for up to 30 days in confidentiality.
Or you can enter the transfer portal, which is required to transfer to a Division I or a Division II school. Please speak to your compliance officer or your athletic director. And remember, you cannot transfer out of trouble, which means if you're athletically ineligible at Bates, you will not be eligible at your new institution.
Recently, the NCAA established the Name, Image, and Likeness policy, referred to as NIL. This involves the use of an individual's name, image, and likeness for commercial purposes. The NCAA student athletes are now generally permitted by the NCAA to earn compensation from the use of their NIL, with some exceptions, of course.
Students may now earn compensation in the form of cash, goods, services, or in-kind benefits for the use of their name, image, and likeness. Students may not earn compensation for athletic performance or enrollment. The athletic department supports students in their NIL pursuits. If you are presented with an NIL opportunity, contact the compliance office immediately and consult with the appropriate professionals. Remember, when in doubt, ask before you act.
Bates Athletics has a number of resources available for student athletes that you need to be aware of, many of which can be found on our website, gobatesbobcats.com, under the Inside Athletics tab. The first is the department's Student Athlete Handbook. Although we are going over many points in the handbook, it is still important you take the time to read the handbook and fully understand its contents and what the expectations are. We understand mistakes happen, so contact your coach as soon as they take place. You do not want your coach to hear it from someone else.
The opportunity to compete in intercollegiate athletics and to represent your team and institution is a privilege, so make sure you do this in a positive manner. It's important to demonstrate respect on and off the field, court, track, pool, locker room, weight room, classroom, to your teammates, coaches, officials, fans, opponents, and just as importantly, to yourself. Take pride in your ability to excel wherever you compete here at Bates. Be mindful that your behavior represents not only yourself, but also your teammates and fellow student athletes across Bates College. Strive to combine your passion and competitiveness during competition with sportsmanship and ethical conduct.
We are excited to be able to welcome future Bobcats to campus this year. You may be asked to visit with or host a recruit. Avoid activities that are inappropriate and/or illegal. The use of alcohol or illegal drugs is strictly prohibited during recruiting visits.
An extra benefit is any special arrangement or service provided by an employee, staff member, or booster to a student athlete, prospective student, or family member not recognized by NCAA rules. These benefits or services are not available to the public or general student body. Accepting any extra benefit may lead to major violation and you may become immediately ineligible. The rule of thumb is, if it is not available to the entire Bates population, it is likely an extra benefit. For example, say you're in Commons and Christine Schwartz notices you're wearing a Bates Athletics apparel. She loves Bates sports and provides you with a free coffee for being on the team. This is considered an extra benefit and is not permissible to accept. On the other hand, if you're walking around campus and you see a sign outside the den offering free bagels to any Bates students, you can accept that offer. It's open to the entire population. So now, let's hear from the sports medicine team.
My name is Nick Cook. I'm the Associate Director of Athletics for Performance and Sports Medicine. As a member of the NCAA, Bates and their student athletes are required to participate in the NCAA drug testing program. What this means is that you, the student athlete, are solely responsible for anything and everything that enters your body. This includes everything from the food you eat to the medications prescribed by your doctor to nutritional supplements. Please note that there is not an exhaustive list of all substances that would trigger a positive test. However, there is a list of banned substance classes. Any substance within one of those classes will trigger a positive test. The one area we get asked about most often is nutritional supplements. It is important to note that there is no governing body that ensures that what goes into a nutritional supplement container is actually what is printed on the label. This means that all nutritional supplements come with some level of risk. It is important that if you choose to utilize a supplement, that you understand you are accepting a level of risk. An easy tip when first reviewing labels is that anything that lists a proprietary blend in the ingredients will be considered high risk for containing a banned substance. The penalty for testing positive for a banned substance will be loss of eligibility to participate in athletics for a duration that will depend on the substance and the offense. In short, the NCAA will not accept the excuse of "I didn't know." So if you are not certain, please reach out to a member of the sports medicine staff and we will provide you with the best information available to us.
Hi, my name is Kate DeZenzo. I'm a senior athletic trainer. Bates Sports Medicine is a group of athletic trainers and physicians who work together to provide high-quality athletic health care for you all, our student athlete population. We partner with Central Maine Healthcare to provide access to interdisciplinary medical care, including our very own Bates Health Services. We're available in our clinic for injury evaluation and rehabilitation on the second floor of Merrill from 10 a.m. until 3 or 4 p.m. on Monday through Friday. We encourage appointments, but they're not required. To be sure you get the time and attention you and your injury deserve, please email sportsmedicine@bates.edu to schedule with one of our athletic trainers. Each team has an assigned point person. This is the athletic trainer who works most closely with the team coordinating their care. However, we operate as a sports medicine team, and we pride ourselves on our ability to treat athletes from all teams. In addition to injury prevention, care, and rehabilitation, our job is broadly to keep you safe while participating in sport at Bates College. This involves many processes, procedures, and collaborations with departments across the campus. You may be familiar with some of these, such as our medical eligibility process and practice and event coverage. Others you may be less familiar with, such as our environmental conditions policies, our emergency action plans, and our acclimatization policies. Know that we're working in the background in conjunction with our healthcare partners, your coaches, and our administration to keep you healthy and safe. The next stop on the road to our next championship focuses on academics. Let's hear from Sam and Grace about athletic eligibility.
Bates College has a long-standing tradition of excellence in athletics and academics. It is expected that all student athletes embrace the true spirit behind Division III athletics and strive for academic achievement first, as well as athletic success. Representing Bates College as a student athlete is a privilege.
To practice or compete on an intercollegiate team, a student athlete must be a full-time student, enrolled in at least 3 courses, and in good academic standing and making satisfactory progress deemed by the institution. If the student drops below 3 courses during a semester, they become immediately ineligible for competition. Please make sure you check your credit load before you start your first practice.
You have 4 seasons to compete in your sport in your first 10 full-time semesters. You will use a season for participation if you participate in the first competition or if you practice on or after the first day of competition.
We understand we'll have class conflicts when we compete. It's very important to communicate with our professors at the beginning of each semester. Under no circumstance should you miss a class for practice. Your coaches know this as well. Make sure you take a look at your class schedule, compare it with your athletic competition schedule, and talk to your professors about any potential conflicts. You should do this as soon as you know your schedule and in person along with a follow-up email. Be sure to use Dear Professor instead of just Head.
One more time. Rewind it.